Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. Let's continue the JavaScript and CSS tips and tricks tutorial series. Now in this video tutorial I will explain how to count the number of selected checkboxes in a drop-down list using a JavaScript and CSS. So let's start the tutorial. Now let's check the final output of our application. Select animals. When I mouse over, notice we got a arrow symbol. When I click that one, notice tiger, lion, dog, cat. When I click camel, here we got the number of selected checkboxes 1. When I click dog, here we got 2. When I click pig, here we got 3. When I unselected, see, it's now the number of selected checkboxes is only 1. If I select another, 2. Tiger, camel, pig, cat. If I unselect, we got 2 selected checkboxes. See? For this video tutorial, I am using Visual Studio Code. First, let's open our folder, which is the JavaScript-tutorials. And here it is. Our folder is added to the VS Explorer. Let me expand this folder. Now, inside this folder, I am creating one new HTML file called Dropdown List Count Selected Checkboxes. Selected Checkbox.htm. And here we got the newly created HTML file is open. Let me minimize this Explorer as well as I'm closing this welcome page. Now let's write the coding part. First let's add the doc type. I'm adding the HTML. Inside the HTML I'm adding the header section. Below the header section I'm adding the body tag. Now in the body tag I'm adding center elements. Center h1 count the number of selected checkboxes in a drop down list. After that I am adding one horizontal line. After the horizontal line I am adding one label. id is equals to this label is to count the selected number of values. To count the number of selected checkboxes, I want to display that number here. So, selected count label. Selected count label. After that, I am adding one more horizontal line. Now, below the horizontal line, I am defining one div class is equals to drop down. Let's add the drop down. In this div button is a drop down list which contains one button. Button is, let's add the select options. This button on click event, when I on click toggle. This is a JavaScript function. Let's add the toggle dropdown. Toggle dropdown is a function name. Select options button. Now here div, this div, here I am adding what we call the labels, which are the options here. In this div I am adding one label, and this label contains another input. Type is equals to checkbox, and value here I just want to count the number of selected checkbox. So here I am not adding any value. On change event is equals to count selected checkboxes. Count selected checkboxes. Here I am adding the label name. I am adding, let's add some tiger. I am adding the animal name. Select animal. Yes. Now here in the div container, class drop down toggle button. Now in this div, id is equals to my drop down. and we require the class also. This is a drop content, drop down content. I'm adding drop down content and style. When page loads, I want to display none. This call none. None. That's it. Now let's copy this one. We'll require the second label. This one, lion. Now let's add another. Copy this one. Paste, 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 and paste. Now what I'm doing, I'm changing dog, cat, some animal names I'm adding here. Cat, camel, and pig. Checkboxes event is there. Is a function name. That's it. We have done the designing part. Now after the center, I'm adding JavaScript functionality. Let's add the script. Inside the script, I'm adding the function. Here the function is a toggle drop down. Let's copy this one. Toggle drop down. Toggle bar drop down. Drop down. Variable drop down is equals to document dot get element by id. The id is the drop down id is which is my drop down. Let's copy this one, my drop down, and after that if drop down dot style dot display is none, then drop down dot style dot display. Here I want to show means block, else none. Show means block, and the else part drop down, this one none. That's it. And after that we have the checkboxes also, count selected checkboxes. Let's copy this one. Let's copy this one, count selected checkboxes. Here function count selected checkboxes variable checkboxes is equals to document dot. Here I am adding querySelectorAll. I have multiple checkboxes, input types are there. So the class we need to add this one, drop down content. Drop down. So this one, selector all, my drop down, and input. These input type checkboxes. Or you can add the class also. Let's add this one, my drop down input type is equals to checkbox. Type is equals to checkbox. This one put the single quotes. Yes, single quotes. Then variable, now we need to count the selected checkboxes. So checkboxes dot for each method function checkbox. Here function checkbox, this one here. Let's close this one. Function checkbox. If checkbox.check, I want to count plus. I want to count this, counting the selected checkboxes. Then variable, I need to selected count label. Count label is equals to document dot get element by id, I want to get this result in the label, which is a selected counted label. Let's copy this one and paste here. Then selected counted label dot inner HTML. Inner HTML is equals to here number of selected checkboxes are. This is the output I want to display in this label control. Checkboxes plus count. If count is 0, I don't want to display this message. So selected count label dot class list dot add to hide, we need to add a hidden property else path. Now to show if the count is more than 0, we need to show. So here we have to remove, adding hidden, I'm removing the hidden. That's it. We have done the JavaScript function. It's a very simple code. Now we need to add some styles here. Let's add style. In the style first in the class dropdown, we need to add this class name dropdown position relative display inline block. Now what else we have? Dropdown content is also there. Dropdown content. Let's copy this one. Dropdown content display first none, display none. Position absolute position only. I want to display a position absolute. Background color. I'm adding some red. We'll add orange. Minimum width is 100 pixels. Minimum width 100 pixels, and border is 1 pixel solid black color. We'll add black color. Box shadow is 4 pixels. These are the top, left, right, like that. 4 pixels, 8 pixels, and 0. Now padding 10 pixels. Z index is 1. This is the drop down content. I want to, when I click this drop down button control, I want to display this one. That's why I have added Z index. Now what else we have? We have selected drop down content label. Drop down content. In this content we have this label, drop down content label, which is this one. The label is this one. So let's copy this one. I'm adding some styles to the label. Drop down content label display block. Again drop down. In the drop down we have a button control. See here, the button control is in the drop down, so I'm adding button control. Transition is transform. So some kind of animation I'm adding here. Transform 0.3 seconds. Background color black, and border is the background color of the button is black color, and the border I'm adding 1 pixel solid. We don't require any border here. because it's already black color. Padding, padding 6 pixels, 12 pixels. Border radius is 4 pixels. Font size around, I'm adding 15 pixels. Font weight bold, it's a bold. Cursor is pointer. So when I place over the cursor on the mouse, I want the pointer of the cursor. Now when a button hover. So here drop down button hover, then mouse over, transform, translate white 2 pixels, this one. Now here what I'll show you, I want to add some arrow symbol to the button control. So drop down button hover, after the content I'm adding content /25 BC, which displays the backward arrow mark, and this arrow mark I want to display red color. So color is this one is here. Now we'll get the color is red color. And what else we have? Dot hidden also is there, hidden. This we don't require this one, hidden. Display first. Here we are adding, so the label hidden we need to hide first. Hidden display, none. That's it. Drop down content, drop down label. In the drop down button, when I mouse over, I want to show an arrow mark. The button label is red color, and I want to hide the label first. So that's why I have user hidden. Selected label class list is hidden. So let's save this file first. We'll check the final output of our application. For that, we need to open the file explorer. The folder I have created in the E drive, and the folder name is a JavaScript -tutorials. And here is a folder JavaScript tutorials, and the file name is ddl countSelectCheckbox. Let's check that one, ddl countSelectCheckbox. This is a file name. Now when I click, here we got the output. See, the label is not displaying in the button control. So we need to change the color of the button control. This is a drop down button. Background color is black. So I'm adding color is white. Let's save this file. And what else we got here? The content labels. Let's define. Let's add breaks here. Let's add the breaks. Break, and the last one is break. That's it. I hope now it looks good. I'm reloading the browser. Now let's check the final output of our application. Select animals. When I mouse over, notice we got a arrow symbol. When I click that one, notice tiger, lion, dog, cat. When I click camel, here we got the number of selected checkboxes 1. When I click dog, here we got 2. When I click pig, here we got 3. When I unselected, see, it's now the number of selected checkboxes is only 1. If I select another, 2. Tiger, camel, pig, cat. If I unselect, we got 2 selected checkboxes. So that's it. In this video tutorial, I have explained how to count the number of selected checkboxes in a drop-down. Thanks for watching this video tutorial. Please subscribe, share and leave your valuable comment. I will catch you in my next video tutorial.